What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Pitching Ninja's Filthiest Pitches of the Day. Remember, before we get to those pitches, hit that subscribe button. Be a part of the biggest and best daily baseball show on YouTube. And now, without further ado, here are my filthiest pitches of the day. I'm going to start with Rich Hill, aka Dick Mountain, who had 6 Ks in 6 2/3 innings, giving up 1 run. Dick Mountain was brilliant with this elevated cutter as well as his fastball and curveball combo. Here's an overlay of his fastball and curveball, and you can see why that elevated fastball and curveball combination is so tough for hitters. I was really happy I got to feature Rich Hill in my Peacock segment this week because I love watching him pitch, but most of all, I love saying Dick Mountain on national television.
Well, to me, Rich Hill is a man of extremes. He's got the best nickname in baseball, Dick Mountain, which was given to him by Brock Holt and Mookie Betts as a spin on his name, Rich Hill. He's also the oldest player in baseball at 43 years old, has the slowest fastball among starting pitchers, and his curveball has the most horizontal break among starting pitchers. He's also one of the craftiest pitchers in the game, using extreme arm angles and changing his mechanics to mess with hitters, as you see in this overlay.
Dick Mountain outdueled Miles Michaelis, who had 2 Ks in 5 innings, gave up 2 earned runs, and had this front door 2-seamer. Nathan Eovaldi had 7 Ks in 6 innings, giving up only 1 hit and no runs. Nasty Nate featured these splitters and fastball and lowered his ERA this year to 2.24. He faced Bryce Miller, who only lasted 2 1/3 innings, giving up 7 earned runs, and had these fastballs. Has the league caught up to Miller, or are his last 2 outings where he's given up 15 earned runs an anomaly? Brady Singer had 7 Ks in 5 2/3 scoreless innings, giving up 5 hits, and had these nasty sliders and 2-seamer. He battled Kyle Freeland, only had 1 K in 7 innings, but gave up only 2 runs, and had this dirty slider. Sandy Alcantara had 7 Ks in 7 innings, but gave up 5 earned runs, and now his ERA on the year is over 5. He did have these filthy changeups, sliders, and got a sword on his fastball. He faced Paul Blackburn, who had 3 Ks in 5 innings and gave up 5 earned runs himself, and had this slider. Michael Kopech looked really good with 9 Ks in 7 innings, giving up 2 runs. He relied mostly on these wicked sliders and overpowering fastballs. And here's an overlay of his slider and fastball. You can see why that's so unfair for hitters. He does such a good job of tunneling those 2 pitches when he's on, and gearing up to hit that fastball, you could really look foolish on a slider. He faced Matthew Boyd, who was also really good, with 9 Ks in 5 innings, giving up only 1 run, and had this slider and fastball. Yusei Kikuchi had 8 Ks in 5 innings, giving up 2 runs, and had this nasty mix of curveballs and sliders. During the game, they showed his follow-through, and you can see he really lives up to his name, Kick Coochie. So I decided to put a football in there. I'm starting to get Bo Jackson or Deion Sanders vibes. He outdueled Kodai Senga, who struggled on 4 days rest, picking up only 3 Ks in 2 2/3 innings, but his velo was still there, and he had a pair of 97-mile-an-hour fastballs for Ks. Ranger Suarez had this curveball and changeup and had 3 Ks in 7 innings, giving up only 1 run. He outdueled Trevor Williams, who had 6 Ks in 5 2/3 innings, giving up 4 earned runs, and had these fastballs and got a sword on one. J.P. France had this changeup and fastball and 3 Ks in 7 innings, giving up only 1 run. He faced Griffin Canning, who had 4 Ks in 6 innings, and had this filthy slider and got a sword. Adrian Hauser had 2 Ks in 7 innings, giving up only 1 run, and had this painted sinker. Tyler Wells had this backdoor cutter as well as his slider, but his filthy changeups really stole the day. He had 9 Ks in 5 1/3 innings, giving up only 2 earned runs, and had 7 whiffs on his 14 changeups. He now has a 32% whiff rate on his changeup this season, and it's definitely an elite pitch. Tanner Houck had 6 Ks in 5 innings, giving up 4 earned runs. He had these wicked sliders and dirty sinkers and got Diaz to bend the knee on one. He battled Taj Bradley, who had 6 Ks in 5 innings, giving up 2 runs, and relied on his mid to upper 90s fastballs and this elevated changeup. Zach Gallen had 6 Ks in 6 innings, giving up 2 earned runs, and relied on his vicious knuckle curves and got a sword on this knuckle curve, as well as this nasty changeup. And I did this overlay of Gallen's fastball and knuckle curve, and you can see why that combination would give a hitter nightmares. He faced off against Michael Soroka, who struggled with only 2 Ks in 3 2/3 innings, giving up 5 runs, and had this fastball. Bobby Miller was brilliant with 7 Ks in 6 scoreless innings, giving up only 1 hit. He had his fastball touching 100, as well as these filthy sliders, and just dominated Yankees hitters. And I love this home plate view of this 100-mile-an-hour cheese at the knees from Miller. You can really see how quickly you have to make a swing decision. He faced Domingo Germán, who was also really good, with 6 strikeouts in 6 2/3 innings, giving up only 1 run, and had these dirty curveballs. Marcus Stroman was outstanding with 6 strikeouts in 6 innings, giving up no earned runs. He lowered his ERA this year to 2.39. Looks like Stro may be headed to the All-Star game. He had this slider in the dirt for a sword, and here's an overlay of his slider and elevated fastball, and you can really see how he keeps hitters guessing. My favorite pitch of this game was this painted sinker to Soto, and then Stro does the Stro-to shuffle. My man straight up mocking the Soto shuffle, straight to his face. Stroman has never won a K-Strut of the Year award, but he might very well win it with this one. Stroman did this out of respect. As he told me, it's always a chess match against Soto. And if it's a chess match, well, this is checkmate. I consider this the K-Strut version of what Zach Greinke did when faced with the Soto shuffle. Joe Ryan had 4 Ks in 6 2/3 innings and had this fastball. And he was outdueled by yesterday's filthiest starting pitcher of the day, Triston McKenzie. McKenzie made his first start of the year, coming back from injury, and he was freaking outstanding. He threw 5 scoreless innings with 10 strikeouts, giving up only 1 hit and 1 walk. He dominated hitters with his fastballs, sliders, and curveballs, and I love this overlay of his slider and curveball. There's not a lot of difference in horizontal movement between these pitches, but there's a 19-inch difference in drop. So as a hitter, you're seeing a breaking ball come at you. They look the same, but one catches a strike zone and the other makes its way to the dirt. Good luck, and welcome back, Tristan McKenzie.
And then my curveball, I normally just go at the top of this horseshoe right here. And I try and tuck it as deep as possible and create a little bit of separation so I feel the ball almost like along the inside of this middle finger. So that like when I start to rip it or I really want to get on top of it or throw it hard, I don't feel like the ball's gonna get away from me. I can get to the front of the ball and I can get that true like on top of it feeling and feel like the ball's not necessarily coming up out of my hand, it's coming straight out like my fastball and going straight down.
Now on to my filthiest relievers. David Bednar had this heater. Jeff Hoffman had this slider and splitter. Robert Stevenson had this nasty slider, but he also walked 2 hitters in 2/3 of an inning. A real Jekyll and Hyde performance. Yes, that was a setup for a Pitching Ninja dad joke. Dauri Moreta had this fastball and K-pose. I love this. Matt Brash had this 101-mile-an-hour fastball and wicked slider. Aroldis Chapman had this 101 and 102-mile-an-hour diesel. I'm sensing some trade bait. Liam Hendriks got these Ks and got absolutely fired up in true Liam Hendriks fashion. It is so good to have him back on the bump. Brusdar Graterol had this 99-mile-an-hour sinker, putting in as much effort as it took me to say that. And my filthiest reliever of the day, yet again, was Jordan Hicks. Hicks had this 102-mile-an-hour four-seamer, 102-mile-an-hour two-seamer, and then Hicks had this 102 and 103-mile-an-hour two-seamer combination and followed up with this slider aimed at Hayes' ribs, and it broke right back over the plate. As a hitter, for a second, you think you're going to wear 103, and the pitch ends up breaking back to the zone. Totally unfair. And now, my Pitching Ninja moment of zen. I guess you can call this Schrodinger's slide.
Answer, Phil Cuzzy, Kerchie.
The call on the field of out stands. The runner is safe.
What is up, everybody? My picks of the day today are a 3-leg parlay. I'm going to start out with Shane McClanahan for 6 Ks or more, then take Braxton Garrett for 6 Ks or more, and top it off with Andrew Abbott for 6 Ks or more. What would your picks of the day be?